Shade 4-5, Sway in the morning. I normally do a big ass intro for this, but I got a pleasant surprise this morning. You know, we got someone who I really tremendously respect. This is my brother, Heather B.
Yeah.
Man, we've been marching in the same fight for years from different places in the country, man. This dude, to me, is one of the most accomplished, humble children of hip-hop that I know. Wow. Rashid, who's my brother. A lot of y'all know him as Common. I think that's what y'all call him.
You know what? Whatever.
When I met him, he was common sense, you know, and we
facts,
all
though. That's facts.
we all came in the game together, and one of his brothers who's been DJing since he was, I think, younger than us. He's younger than us.
Yeah.
But he's been DJing from way back then. I know he did a lot of DMC battles. The Superman DJ battles, the Zulu Nation battles. This is all in the 90s when this man was laying down that foundation. Wow. All right, music director for J. Cole, music director for Common. He's worked with everybody from Queen Latifah to Talib Kweli, Music Soul Child, Kanye West, De La Soul, Mos Def, Smooth the Hustler. Wow. Come on, man. Don't be fooled by his name. It's an oxymoron. He goes by the name of DJ Dummy, but he's one of the smartest men I know that ever came out of this culture. DJ Dummy is here.
Wow.
Come on, man.
Smell them.
Come on, man.
It is an honor to be on this show, y'all. This show is one of the best true to hip hop shows ever.
Oh, wow.
Heather, I was just telling you, we met years ago, and
I remember.
I've been a fan of yours since.
Here. You already know.
Wow.
Don't leave me hanging on the camera.
Because I'm sorry. Because I was just telling, like, I go back with Heather when I was DJing for Smooth the Hustler.
Smooth the Hustler.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're all here, and it makes so much sense because this young lady that I just been stalking a little bit, and I heard her. What was the Tiny Desk sessions? I saw her perform on, and I was like, yo, I know this young lady. I've seen her around. I gotta reach out, and it's just one of those moments again where I reached out with somebody through social media. And it actually worked out.
Okay.
I DM'd her on Instagram.
I was like, oh my God, Dummy, Sway DM me.
And I can't think of what did do you remember? Can't think of what I said, but it was something about, I got chills, I believe, from watching your performance. And it's not often that I get those kind of chills, but I've received those chills before when I heard a song called All Glocks Down by the legendary Heather B. I received those chills before when I would hear, early Fugees and I would hear Lauren spit. I received those chills before when Jay-Z came on the world famous Wake Up Show and freestyled. I still one of the only few who got that, And I said I got to reach out to this lady, and I did. And since doing my research, I understand that she's Grammy nominated, right?
Yes.
She's done a multitude of projects up until this point. I even hit my brother Ninth Wonder to talk to him about who she is as an artist. Dummy is here as well, and she's surrounded by some of the greats, and only because she must be great herself. And I made a note to make sure I go see her perform live and walk through that crazy ass crowd at South by Southwest all by myself to see her on stage with our good friend Mr. Glasper in Common. Please welcome her to the show. The one and only Mumu Fresh is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank y'all.
Mumu Fresh.
Oh, thank you.
Mumu Fresh.
Yes.
Now you're from Baltimore?
I am, yeah.
And then raised in,
like, between Baltimore and DC. I went to high school in DC, but I grew up in Baltimore.
Where did you go to high school? I think that's
in DC at Duke Ellington School for the Arts.
Duke Ellington School of the Yo, Mike Muse. You hear where I'm going with that?
Yeah, I see that.
The Duke Ellington School of the Arts, right?
Yeah.
And that the primary focus in that school is what? Like, is it the arts?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Did you get like training in high school, or
Well, I wasn't in the music department though. I was
Okay.
actually in the like writing and film department. But yeah, for sure. I'm not sure. Y'all must have an inside joke going on. But yeah, no, it was an amazing school just experience because all of our teachers were working professionals in the arts in some kind of way. So, you know, we got to like get game, you know, from our teachers who were already in the fields, you know, doing it.
Did you come from a musical family, or this?
I did. No, my mother's a singer. She actually she was the original singer. She was Tom Mattola's first artist, and she was the original singer for Dr. Buzzard's original Savannah band. And she also toured with Sammy Davis Jr. as a part of the Vashinettes. But she had stopped doing music kind of like by the time I was born. And
you know, you say that part, and a lot of people don't know. Like you brush past that every time, and you make me so mad.
Yeah.
Like, dude, a lot of people don't know who Dr. Buzzard and the Savannah Band is.
Tommy Mottola lives on the road.
That's her mother. Like,
he lost a lady 2 months ago.
Yeah, you need to
That's
introduce
your
it
mama.
that way.
That's like, and I was gonna bring it back because she even skipped over Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Nah, mom is dope. I mean, she's still singing. I brought her on stage with me on Valentine's Day, and she wore it out. I just let her close. I was like, I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah. Your mama's that great. So you've been in and around the music business.
For sure.
But she had stopped pretty much by the time you got into it.
Yeah, because, you know, a lot of times for women, once they start families and have children, it feels like you can't continue doing music anymore. And our community, our societies normally don't support women who are mothers and who still are artists, you know. I'm a mom myself, so I understand what that struggle is like. Erykah Badu's like, she's like the second person I reached out to when I found out I was pregnant, and she said, whatever you do, don't stop doing your music, because you don't teach your kids how to live their dreams if you don't live yours. You know, the best thing you can do for him is live your best life. You know, so yeah, I never stopped. Like, once I had my baby, I was like, all right, cool, he going to the studio too, cool, he going on tour too, let's go. Put him on my back, let's go. So yeah, but my mom, even though she wasn't like performing a lot like that anymore, she was still training me. Like, once she realized I could sing, she was like, okay, this one, you know. And then like my brothers, they all like big Wu-Tang Clan fans. Yeah. And you know, my brother used to have this rule that girls couldn't rap. I mean, girls couldn't come on the front steps if they couldn't rap. So he kind of got me into MCing when I was maybe like 10 years old, because I literally could not come outside all summer long. You know, so
really, damn. So you've been MCing since you were 10.
Yeah.
See, what's interesting because I listened to the Vintage Babies out project, and that came out like August of last year, about August of last year, and there's a really great balance of singing and rapping on this project, but it's not like one is necessarily stronger than the other. They're all great, you know. Thank you. How did you connect with Dummy?
Yeah.
I think probably when I was touring with the Roots in like 2005, maybe 2005. So I think I probably saw you at the studio, but then also on tour when I was on tour with the Roots, and Common would do shows with the Roots. You were there too.
The day that really blew me away was the Roots had Radio City Music Hall.
Right.
And it was Erykah, Common, Jazzy Jet,
Nas.
Nas. It was a crazy night there, and she stood out to me more. Like, I've heard her, but I've never seen her perform. And once I saw her performance and how she captivated people on stage,
and I was like doing background stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, that girl is dope.
Yeah.
And we just been cool ever since. And then she started doing, you know, years past, we've been seeing each other. She worked with Zap. I've been seeing her with Zap Mama. And then she started doing backgrounds for Common, which, you know, I was DJing for. So it came down. We just started building a relationship, and then I'm like, this girl could really rap. Like, I'm tired of the rap that I'm hearing. Like, she got something to say, like how hip hop used to be. Like, feed me something. So and then I was working with another artist, and I was like, Moo, I need you to write a song for this lady. She's like, it'll be a big deal if she takes this song. She liked the song, but she never recorded. Basically, she never recorded another album. And it was like...
Who was that artist? She hasn't recorded another album yet?
I don't. She don't need to record another album.
Okay.
But I just don't want to.
Okay, that's okay, Dummy. I was like, you look real uncomfortable. It wasn't even a tough question. Like, damn, who was the artist? You brought her up. I didn't bring her. No, I'm just joking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But the point was, she wrote the song,
Uh-huh.
and the song was so dope. I was like, hey, let's do another song. And then she came to me, was like, let's make a mixtape. And this was the reintroduction of Mumu Fresh.
Uh-huh.
And I'll just say, I was working with a group of students, and I was doing like, my favorite rapper versus your favorite rapper, like bar for bar, just to show them that their favorite rapper was whack.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, I want to do like a social political commentary mixtape where we take, like top 40 songs, but we flip the concept to make it something that's more relevant to regular people. You know what I mean? Like something that matters. So that's what the whole project was about, like flipping all of these top 40 songs and just giving them, making it like a social commentary.
That's fire.
Go ahead.
And then to work together, it was like, yo, we really meshed together. Let's be a group. Like, why not? Like, so that's when we created the Vintage Babies. And she did every writing, all the songs, and I did all the production. It was just a marriage since then.
Wow, man, what a great marriage you guys got, man. Y'all don't need no counseling right now. Let's get into some of the songs too.
Good.
I like the album starts and ends with Live, Love, Shine, right? What is Live, Love? What is the purpose of Live, Love, Shine, and why did you start and end it that way?
Dummy actually chose the intro and outro.
Because it starts off as an acapella, we just wanted to hear the purity of her voice. Like, we don't want no distraction. This is what this is. She is the face of this group. And she is the talent of this group. So first thing you hearing is her voice, acapella. And it's just like, what is about to happen? You have no idea she's about to rap.
Yeah. Mumu Fresh is here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna give them tastes, little flavors of it. I
also wanted to say shout out to Daniel Crawford playing keys and Tall Black Guy, Stroll Elliott, Kitey. Who else? I think that's everybody that was playing on the record. Yeah, so shout out to them because they really, and created just such a beautiful environment. You know what I mean?
You hear it in the frequencies, like in the tones, how it was mixed. Like I was really, anytime you listen to an album and one of the things you say, damn, they mixed the shit out of that. How often do you say that? You know what I mean? Who mixed this project?
I did.
You mixed it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We gotta talk.
Okay.
I find it really interesting because you talk about love, and it feels like in an extremely introspective way. You and it seems like you love. And sometimes love betrays you as well. And I texted you I was listening to the Runaway, which is the third song on the album. Play a little bit of that for me.
Yo, Leroy, your mama, she's
calling you, man.
No, not that mama. That boxy mama you were with last night. She's calling you out on the floor. Show her what you know. She's calling you out on the floor.
There's something special about this place. Something about your face. Ancient attraction. I feel it taking over me. Why are you standing so far
touching them, Mumu. I'm just touching them. I'm just touching them today. You ain't even gotta be here. I'm just touching them today. What an amazing song. If people always ask what kind of music you like. Personally, this is what I like. Personally, there's some very empowering statements you're making in this album. There's a skit that caught me off guard.
Come on.
Let's
talk about it.
Yeah. And let me tell you what caught me off guard. It's a skit where Ricky Rose answering the question. I think Angela Yee asked him about why you don't have women artists on your label. And I think he was jokingly saying it, but he said, oh, man, I'll fix them up and put them in a photo shoot and probably end up fucking them. And then right after that, you go into, I believe, the commentary that President Trump made. Right. About women and grabbing the vaginas, they let you do anything in the whole nine. That was an interesting. I don't think people looked at those two statements the same way because one was coming from a rapper and the other was coming from President Trump. But Break, why did you want to point that out?
Well, for me, I feel like far too often, as a woman, you can be talented, you can be intelligent, you can work hard, you can fulfill all these requirements, and then your body is still a requirement as well. The idea to say, if I pay for your photo shoot and dress you up, which you're supposed to do if you're on the label, right? Yeah. These are things that you're supposed to do for your artist. You do it for your male artist. She still owes you her body too. Why is that? And I mean, it's something that's it runs so rampant in the music business where this type of thinking, is problematic because it's like they may, even if people don't say it, they assume this. And then if you don't oblige, there are repercussions that you face because of it. And I think it needs to be dealt with. Like nobody's dealing with that issue, that is like my time, my talent, my intellect, all of that's enough. Yeah. My work ethic is enough. That's it. I don't have to offer you anything else. It does not belong to you. My body is mine. So it was for me, it was when I heard, that interview, it just bothered me because I know what I've experienced in the music business. So it was just like irritating. Like, why is that funny to me? Okay, why is that funny?
I mean, I thought it was interesting. You point that out. The same people who probably was disparaged or disagreed with President Trump's banter about women laughed at Ricky Rose saying similar. I never even looked at it like that.
Because at the end of the day, what is racism is systematic, right? Yeah. It's the difference between racism and prejudice is that is a system in place that prevents you from moving forward, from upward mobility. Sexism is in that same right. It acts as the same type of
mechanism.
Yes, it does. Yes. And it needs to be dealt with the same way. It's the same vicious, systematic, like roadblock. And it needs to be dealt with. There's nothing funny about it. When you're not able to move forward and take care of your family and do things you need to do because you're not willing to hold yourself out, that's a problem that needs to be dealt with and brought to the carpet. Like, and it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's kind of like, especially because it's like an unspoken thing. You may not even know the reason why certain doors were closed. You know what I mean? It needs to be brought up to, and for real. And even while like on the Tiny, that's why I even closed it with will the real man stand up? Because the real issue is not just that you're doing some old F-boy stuff. The real issue is that your friends around you are laughing at it and nobody's checking you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I don't come from that kind of environment. Like my brothers was going to check you. You was going to get checked out here. Now, my brothers go a little far, so I don't always bring them out places.
Yeah, Mumu, come on.
Somebody might.
Don't shoot. Baltimore, D.C., I know.
I don't bring them out. Okay. It got to be a serious occasion if they come out. So, but I'm just saying that men need to bring other men to the carpet and be like, that's not cool. If she came to work and she wants to do her job the same way you came to work and you just want to do your job, that's need to be it. Let her do her job. That's it.
Yeah.
Mumu Fresh is here.
Yes.
Completely agree.
Thank you.
Sometimes people will just dismiss things as like one-off situations and
all
be like,
time.
whatever, that's specific to that, that's specific to that. But you can prevent a bunch of situations if you look at it as the system that's allowing it to happen. That's a deeper problem. My question though for you, and it's twofold, is one, if you don't mind sharing some of those personal experiences that happened to you, at the hands of a man not acting right. And then second of all, I feel like the Me Too movement part of why it hasn't really penetrated music as much as it has Hollywood is because there's a lot of protection. And sometimes I feel like women will either consciously or subconsciously like conceal what happened with these men because they're in such high positions of power, and it's not something where you're playing a role and you take off that role.
Right, absolutely. Like music, especially hip hop, is supposed to be one of the few genres where you're supposed to live the life that you're speaking about. You know, and a lot of people, their image is all that they have. That is who they are. You know, that's the empire that they've built up. So it does become tough, you know, addressing some of those issues. But that's why I'm saying it's really up to the men around who see it happening to check other men and be like, nah, that's not cool. You know, because they know the cycle. Like, you know what that's going to end up being.
Right.
As opposed to the woman having to, you know, to risk her livelihood to try and expose somebody. It's like the men around her who say they care about her and who just, if you're just a just person, you just, you know, you care about, you know, you're a decent human being. It's like,
speak up for her.
Yeah,
as opposed to
just,
like,
it's not just risking your livelihood. Then you got to go around and begging for support.
come on.
Yeah.
That's the other part. You need, remember when this happened, girl, you mind such and such. It's just a whole nother thing. And people not always so fast to step up and stand behind you.
Absolutely. So, and I mean, then it's like just all of the loopholes and hurdles you got to jump over protecting people's egos, and that is a whole
Get tired
job.
of that shit, huh?
It's a whole job.
Supposed to be grown.
Yeah. Give out your social media real quick.
On Instagram is at Mumu Fresh. Together we're at The Vintage Babies.
Okay. At Mumu, you spell that?
MUMU Fresh.
David from Long Island. Good morning. How you doing?
Strong Island, stand up.
What up? What up?
What's up, Sam? How y'all doing?
Doing all right. What's the word?
Listen, I just, on the strength of that riff right there in the beginning of the interview, I went and bought tickets.
Oh, wow.
You got tickets for the night show?
Wow.
Hell yeah.
That's dope.
Mumu, she's performing tonight at the Rockwood Music Hall. If you're in the tri-state area, that's 196 Allen Street, New York, New York. Doors open at 6:30, so get there early. Show starts at 7.
Wow.
Thank you.
Man, absolutely. Look, we're going to come back. I'm going to open up the phone lines. David, thank you. You're a citizen.
Sway in the morning.
888-742-3345. Play Never Bring Me Down.
You're poor, you're ugly, you're a woman,
And even
you're
though
nothing
they
at all.
worked so hard, jumped over every hurdle to prove themselves, it was never enough. We thought all of that was ancient history, didn't we?
Who's that voice in the end?
The one and only, the legendary FLOTUS, Miss Michelle Obama.
Wow. My question when I heard
Arms of
that,
steel.
how'd you clear that?
Well, now that we on Sway, now we might get in trouble.
Thanks a lot, Sway.
My bad. Let me get the phone. We got Mindy on the line from Florida. Mindy, good morning. Mindy.
Hey, Mindy.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Say hello to Mumu Fresh.
Good morning, Mumu. So I woke up this
Good
morning,
morning.
turned on my radio, heard that you were going to be on. Could not wait to say thank you for your music. Thank you for the Tiny Desk series. It was amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate
yes.
it.
So nice to hear your voice on the show. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, Mindy, you had that Vintage Babies project?
Not yet, but I'm on it today.
Do yourself a favor, kid. It's on you, Mindy. You're a citizen, though.
Sway in the morning.
Curtis from Alabama. What up, Kurt?
What's up, Curtis?
Hey, what up, Sway?
What up?
Heather B?
Hey.
Tracy G?
Hey.
Hey, Mumu Fresh. I never heard of you before, girl, but you know what? Hey, you sang my type of shit, man. I love that.
Thank you. You rocking with me. Thank
I'm
you.
going to get that. I'm going to cop that CD, though, man.
Get
Yes.
that CD. That's what's important, man.
Thank you.
There's a lot of powerful songs on there as well. You got the Sandra Bland interlude, and then you do a song, Say My Name. And that was important to you to put on the project as well.
Absolutely.
Speak to it.
Again, you know, women who are under attack. I mean, we watched a woman be pulled out of her car and beaten, you know, all over the internet. And for me, it was like, you can't even say, a lot of times, like I'm looking on YouTube under the video footage, I'm hearing reading people say like, oh, well, she shouldn't have ran her mouth so much. You know, black women so mouthy. That's why she got killed, or that type of, like, as if that is a good cause. Like, you're too mouthy, so you deserve to die. Like, and I'm just reading these comments like, what kind of madness is this, where that is the general sentiment, that because they felt like she was too mouthy, or because she smoked a cigarette, or whatever the case may be, that she deserved to be dragged out of her car and beaten. So, and I was listening to her mom say, like, when they were asking, like, well, what can we do? in your daughter's situation, she said, just say her name. Just don't forget her name. And, in African traditions, we always, call the name of the ancestors, right? To keep them strong. And so that was, to me, that's what like the whole premise was. And I wrote the song in first person because I felt like it was really necessary for people to put themselves in her position. It's easy to like point fingers and be like, well, she shouldn't have did this, and man. But what if you were in that situation? Would you want someone to remember you or to fight for you or to lift your name up or to, go to bat for you, to try and find justice for you? Wouldn't you want that for you, Yeah. So, yeah, I just wrote it in first person. So you could for a minute just put yourself in her shoes and empathize with just the human, just the woman, just empathize with her. And, so that's what that was.
It's a powerful song. Powerful. I love hearing you talk about it. I could just ask you questions and let you go.
She's dope,
and then on the flip side of that, you'll hear a song called Pimp Down. So you're getting a full dichotomy with Mumu Fresh.
We're layered women, Sway.
Pimp Down.
We're whole people.
Yes.
Come on.
Layered.
And Dummy kept saying, he was like, Moo, you need, because like, he sees like the person I am, and sometimes people think I'm just like super serious all the time, but they don't know like I'm mad silly.
Oh yeah.
And so he was like, you need to put like some of your silliness on the track, all that funny stuff you be saying to me. You need to record that into a song. So that's what like Pimp Down was about. Like, oh man, you got me all out of character, looking silly out here. Like you got me looking crazy.
Calling for a dude, he ain't picking up. He disappeared. That's happened to you though.
Oh my.
Who? That's happened to you though? No, I'm not.
Tell
Fresh. Tell him what happened.
Tell him.
No, dummy, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Well, that's the first thing when I heard the song. It sounded like this happened to her.
Well, Sway, let's put it like this.
Okay.
This is why so many people are gravitating to this album, because they feel the realness.
Yeah.
Everything on this album has happened.
Okay.
Everything, whether it was her or not. It's whether a story she was a part of. Or it was something she went through. Everything, even down to like Say My Name, it was a real story. So it was like she's not just writing songs just to be, penning stuff. Everything is life experience. And that's why it's called soul music. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I just want to say too, for I was telling Dummy, like, I feel like black music is so limiting, like current black music. When I listen to music like from my mom's era, they wrote about everything.
Yeah.
Like anything that happened in life, any conversation you can have with a friend, that could also be a song, you know? And I don't know at what point that happened where black music was reduced to like, my man cheated on me, I'm out here in the club, and I don't know, maybe like one or two other
That's
topics.
That's it. My
And I
man
was
cheated
like-
on me, I'm in the club. Or I'm stealing your girl.
Yeah,
Your girl, I'm banging your girl right now. Yeah.
And I've written for other artists, and I've been a part of like, writing groups. And I realized that when I was writing for country artists or alternative artists, the sky was the limit. We could write about any, the human experience. And I was like, wow, that's not really, why is that in black music, you can't even sell a song to a black artist that has substance? I was like, what is that about? That didn't used to be the case.
Systematic though, because there's also the label that want to put money behind certain songs, and they want to be in the clubs, and they want this. So it's what they decide.
And you create that market, and then they'll tell you, well, this is what the market wants. The market, no, you created the market.
You
and
help support it financially,
right?
Absolutely.
And you create that repetitious vibe. Like that's what the kids want, because that's what they grew up on. If you gave them something else, if they knew better, they do better, right? Like if you gave them something else, then they would rock with something else.
I'm loving Mumu Fresh right now.
She's dope.
We're going to do a part 2 of this because I want to get you to do something for this audience, the ones that haven't heard you yet live in here in the studio with us. I want to invite somebody in because he was our next guest. He's the son of John Lennon, Julian Lennon. I want him to come and witness this energy because he has a new book, Heal the Earth. It's a part of a series that he's doing, and he's dealing with the environment. I just thought I'd ask Julian to come in and join us.
Amazing.
It's a good friend of ours. He's a friend of the show. And plus, I thought it'd be Julian Lennon, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Julian, how you doing, man? Let me explain to you what's going on. Wow. Go have a seat. Have a seat.
So nice to meet you. I saw him on the documentary.
You saw him on the doc? Okay. Now, Julian has his new book, Heal the Earth, part of a series, and it's dealing with environmental issues, and it's targeted towards young kids, really.
3 to 6 year olds,
3 to 6, and he came here before, and we talked about this, and this is the latest edition right here.
This is true, It's part of a trilogy, and it's just along the same lines as the first one, just an expanded version of telling a story, but educating at the same time about the world's issues, and starting a conversation with the kids, so that they're understanding the world that they're growing up in, and how to make choices about the good and bad things that we face.
Well, it's interesting. I'm gonna make you part of this interview too. We just all have a family right here.
Okay, hello.
This is Mumu Fresh.
That's amazing.
That's DJ Dummy.
How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Don't be fooled by the name. Music director for Common, J. Cole, and others.
Fantastic.
She's a new artist. Well, she's not a new artist, but she's new on the show. Okay, she's a fresh artist.
Fresh artist.
And she's going to do something I just wanted you to bear witness to.
Okay, sure, yeah, absolutely.
But I want to, before we do that, and please forgive me, couple of topics that you, when I read through the book, some of the things you talked about was areas that don't have hospital facilities, and, and here's an idea, a mobile ambulance, that sort of things, and you talk about the oceans as well. This book is designed to put the thoughts to trigger the minds of the youth who one day will become the lawmakers and the policy writers.
Absolutely.
Is that what this is?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's what it's all about. And that's why it's been great seeing the youth stand up recently. It's surprising to see such strength in the kids these days, because, to a degree, I thought in many respects all hope was lost. But it's amazing to see these young, intelligent people standing up for all of our rights in many respects, whether it's guns or otherwise. Or, it's absolutely geared towards kids, and it's their world that they're growing up into. So, if they want things to be a certain way, they're going to have to make choices about that. Whether it's a clean world or a dirtier world, or
Okay. How, in terms of our this current administration and environmental issues, that's Julian over there moaning. But what grounds have been made? If communications have been had, or what do you think? What is our?
Well, I've been massively saddened by this administration and what they've done in regards to environmental issues and otherwise. I think they're turning back the clocks. I think they're going back. This is devolution, not evolution. In a massive way. I just hope that we can recover that in the coming years. Again, it's going to take the kids to get out there and vote and make those changes.
Okay. People want to get this book because now you're a New York Times best-selling author.
Oh.
How can they get the book? And if they want to join the cause, is there somewhere? How can they reach?
I started a foundation called the White Feather Foundation that deals with environmental and humanitarian issues, health and education around the world. We try and look after indigenous tribes and cultures around the world as well, keep them alive and kicking. So White Feather Foundation, if you go there, whitefeatherfoundation.com, you can find out all about what we do. And, part and parcel of what this book is about. And, this can be bought at Amazon or Barnes & Noble, any number of places. So, yes, if you've got some kids and you care about the future, go out and buy it, please.
Okay. All right. Julian Lennon, man. Hey, hang out. This guy is a musician.
Apparently. I used to do that.
He used to do that. He's a photographer. Philanthropist, author, activist.
I try.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna come back and you're gonna be in for a treat.
Okay.
Mumu Fresh is gonna do something just off the cuff for us. Okay. Let's play a song. We'll play "Shine Your Light." And then we'll come back. 888-742-3345.
What's up, party?
Sway in the morning, Shade 45. Shine your light. Mumu Fresh. Get the album Vintage Babies too, though. And she's performing tonight at the Rockwood Hall, Music Hall, here in New York City. So make sure you check that out. But we also got my good friend Julian Lennon is hanging out.
Julian.
Hello. I told him we got a hyena up in the room. You know where you are with Sway in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh man, we had great times. But you know what? I know she's Grammy nominated. I know she goes on stage with Grammy winners, whether it's Common or Robert Glasper or Erykah Badu or whoever it is she rock with. But right now, you just entered the Valley of the Hyenas! Sway in the morning, Mumu Fresh.
You are now entering the 5 fingers of death.
DJ Wonder plays 5 unique beats meant to test your lyrical stamina.
I saw the look in his eyes. This guy is crazy.
Many have tried.
I'm the best. This is just another chance for me to prove it.
But many have failed.
Give me some hip-hop.
It's the 5 fingers of death.
Pay close attention. Pay close attention, ladies and gentlemen. We got a hyena up in here wanting to drop that beat. Turn it up. Hey.
Ooh, okay. On the 50th anniversary of
Yeah, you can stand up.
assassination.
Yes, here we go.
MLK. I can't even lift this up. All right. I'm going to have to keep it right there. Yeah. Social smog polluting us all. Choking on the smoke in the comment bar where everybody got balls but can't nobody spell. Trying to read your insults, confusing as hell. I'm like, how you gonna buck when your hammer is stuck? Like how you gonna joan when your grammar is fucked? Girls trade they pride for apple pie. Expose your whole backside, only got 10 likes. Now ain't that about embarrassing? Shoulda got your merits in. Listen to your parents when they told you go to school, but you might just only end up in the morgue. School's more dangerous than the Civil War. Kids marching for their lives, politicians recognize. Even Delta Airlines cut the bullshit. But the power still resides in the almighty dollar. And Orange 45 scared to do shit. He too caught up in the rah-rah, paying off porn stars, life and time of the rich and famous. But the country's on his head and the youth are on the edge. Too many bodies laying dead, cold and nameless. Well, I think it's about time. I ain't mad, I'm alive. Glad to see it's happening in our lifetime. See, we got purpose on a mission with a purpose to restore God's balance on this earth's surface. Yeah, we the leaders of the new school. We got bougie taste buds, but got deep ghetto roots. From the streets of Baltimore, but I done gone worldwide. But if I tell them where I'm from, all they know is the why. But shit, Bodie Barksdale was like an uncle of mine. Used to babysit when I was a child. A pot of oatmeal next to the pot of Coke. Well, I couldn't tell except for the smell. Kinda like a burning plastic. Wasn't till years later when I was moving classes. Fucking with this Philly nigga down on Belly Terrace. Took me to the crib, he was making cabbage. The familiar smell of broken back families. I seen it from Joburg to Miami. I'ma raise the standards. Word to my Grammy. I'ma move the standards. Yo, I'll move the standards. Hold up. It's Mumu Fresh and I'm back again with the illest prince to have ever touched the pen. I fucks with him, the boy that put the needle to pen. They call him DJ Dummy, yeah, I'm riding with them. And we go by the vintage babies. We done paid our dues, so nigga, fuck you, pay me. We so swayzy. I flirt with beats and rhymes and call me a floozy. The way I do it, I said can't nobody do me. My DJ is better than yours. He ski in your face, Issa Rae, insecure. And if you on that bull, DJ Dummy Matador, he the last of a dying breed, keeping it pure. I was a girl just in Baltimore, hanging with them Baltimore who fit the body for. Any given reason we give them, they down to rob you for. Have them boys waiting for you outside the lobby door. Now it's sushi and Osaka and Goosey and Legos. I'm yen, pounds, nairas, dollars, and payrolls. And my niggas stay with me, don't fuck with my payroll. Damn, the shit's still going. Hold on, the shit's still going. Damn, it's like the longest beat ever.
Oh my God. So dope, so dope,
man,
so
my throat
dope.
dry as shit.
Oh
So
man, Julian Lennon, what do you think, buddy?
I'm buying.
Yes,
You got me.
it's so dope.
That was great.
We got a new sheriff in town.
Amazing.
We got a new sheriff in town.
Come
Yes,
on.
I don't mind the ones you're talking about, but this the one you should be talking about.
Factual.
Give it up for Mumu Fresh, ladies and gentlemen. 100% true artist.
Yes.
100% real vocalist. Ain't no auto-tunes on those vocals, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at her brown skin, too.
Okay, 100% hyena. Oh, man. Yo, I didn't want you to stop. That's why I just kept it going, man. Oh, my God.
So dope, so dope.
Very talented. Mumu Fresh, ladies and gentlemen.
Killed
You
it.
look like you're just having so much fun.
I am.
While you chopping dudes'
Yo,
heads
this
off.
is like, y'all understand, this is like, just to be just in this vibe, like, I'm just so glad, like, Dummy, he's like the only person that can, like, really bring the best out of me, you know what I mean? And just like, this project, it just means so much to me, and to have y'all, like, really appreciate it, and to share with other people, and to... I'm just grateful.
Wow, that's great.
I'm just super grateful, man. I'm honored to be here, and I've been watching since I was a kid. Like,
That's
I'm
what's
happy
up.
to be here.
That's what's up. Come on, man. That's what's up. We've been doing it since we were kids too, Mumu. I just throw that in there, all right?
Yeah. We was kids together. Yeah.
All right, but if you want to see her perform, you're performing tonight, right?
Yes.
At the Rockwood Music Hall here in New York City. Doors open at 6:30. Get there early. This girl's a tremendous performer. I saw her perform with Robert Glasper and Common, and I can't remember who was on drums. It wasn't Chris Daddy Dave.
Oh, no, it was Kareem.
Kareem Riggins was on drums. And y'all got that project out too, right?
Yeah, you talking about August Green?
August Green, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's not our project, but yeah, we support our
you-
brothers.
but you
100%.
on it, though,
yeah.
right?
No, I'm not on that
You're not on
project.
that project?
I know people mad, right?
That was
mad.
it was because Common was they was dedicating.
Common was hating?
Damn,
No, I'm sorry, my bad.
I said dedicating.
No, dedicating.
He was dedicating that tiny desk to 4 women. He wanted to, express something for 4 women, and he just happened to have. Mamuna is part of the family.
Yeah.
So he was like, I want you to come and perform with us on the tiny desk.
Okay.
So everybody thinks that verse is on that song. Practice.
It's not.
It's not. I
It's
know.
on the song you
It's
just
on
played.
but
Right.
Yeah,
I know. He was like, yo, we're going to have to do a remix because people like mad, that you're not on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, and the response from women all over the world, you don't even understand. Like, women have been DMing me, like telling me their whole life story, just crying. They just show you how underrepresented we are. That's for someone to speak your story and your struggle and like how much that means to you. Like, one woman hit me like, yo, I listen to this every day before I go to work. Like, this is how I start my day to really get me in the zone. And that's so, man, I can't even tell you. I'm so grateful for that. And it's so important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, we able to walk with that. So I'm just grateful for, Common giving me the opportunity to be able to spit and let my voice be heard and connect and inspire with other women. And men too. That's what I appreciate.
Yeah.
I love that so many men be like, look, I'm standing up with you, Moo. I'm with you.
I'm with you
that's
too.
so important.
Man, I'm with you.
I'm so grateful.
Who else is with her? All the men up in here, man. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
because-
Julian, you with her?
Oh,
Julian?
yeah, I'm with you.
I'm like, feminism is not like women's rights are not. It's not a woman's issue. It's everyone's issue. If you came from a woman, if you got a mama, it's everybody's issue. So it's not like, oh, the men stand down. It's our time. It's not even about that. It's about doing this thing together. Like, you can't be your whole best self without that balance. You just can't.
Absolutely. Mumu Fresh, ladies and gentlemen. The Vintage Babies. That's the group. That's the project. Make sure you pick it up.
Yes.
DJ Dummy, I love you, man.
Sway, love, man.
Come
for
on.
years, man.
For years, man. We've been doing this for a long time.
Yes,
if you want to
sir.
hit up Mumu Fresh, hit her up directly on social media at
on at Mumu Fresh or on Instagram at Maimuna Youssef. And also you can go to thevintagebabies.com to hear music, merch, get tour dates, all of that stuff.
Okay, DJ Dummy, how can they reach you, man?
DJ Dummy on Instagram, and I am DJ Dummy on Twitter, and also at The Vintage Babies. Like we said, we on iTunes, we on Spotify. You can get Amazon, you get the album everywhere.
The whole thing, right?
Yeah, man. Thank y'all, man.
Great job, man. Great job. Great job.
so much.
Julian, how can they reach you, man, if they want to join the initiative, join the cause, man?
At julianlennon.com is a link to all that I do. So that's pretty much it. And for pictures, it's Jules's Picture Palace on Instagram.
That's right. You inspired OQ, who became a photographer based on some of your old
Are you
work.
serious?
So, yeah.
Most definitely.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
And you can
Thank
find him, too.
OQ Shoots on Instagram.
He changed his whole Instagram to kind of take your style.
I'm going to look you up. Okay.
All right.
I'm interested now.
I just want to mention that we also have 2 more shows. Just want to get them while we book now.
Mumu Fresh and the
Vintage Babies will be performing in Miami May 12th. You remember the name of the spot? Don't know.
Yeah.
And
but go to vintagebaby.com.
Yes, on vintagebaby.com.
Okay.
And also we be in Raleigh, Durham. In June 14th. Get it together. Yeah.
All right, cool.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shea 45.